I'm going to tell you how to make gorgeous background art using NovelAI. This advice is based on my experience while making all the graphics for a whole game with AI. So that you won't do the same mistakes as I will tell you how to do it right. 1. The bigger the better. Think about the size you will need. In my experience, smaller sizes tend to work better if you have complex wishes. You can later upscale with Waifu 2X or another tool. Depending on the type of background, upscaling can be perfectly fine. If you have some more romantic story, you anyway don't want the backgrounds to be too crisp since you want your characters to stand out a bit. Here is an example from a recent top anime you might know, Spy Family. If you don't know it, watch it. No discussion. I have picked one where the background is highly detailed, but still you see that it is blurred as compared to the main characters. Upscaling of the background wouldn't be any problem here. There are cases where this method is not so good. For instance, when you don't have characters in the foreground and want to have something highly detailed. That's a limitation you should know about. AI is getting better with high resolutions, but we will talk about this another time. 2. Think about what you need. Often you don't have to be that picky. An example. You need a forest as background. Does it matter what kind of trees you will have there? Most of the time it won't. So let the AI decide for you. The AI is an artist. She wants to use her creativity. Don't limit her too much. Otherwise she will get grumpy and will produce bad pictures. There are some useful tags for you to know. Scenery and no humans. The latter one is particularly useful when the AI tries to be nice and starts putting sexy women into your picture because she thinks it would be boring without them. And yes, that happens. I won't show you examples here. There are some other nice tags that make your background look more spectacular. D. Light rays and sunshine. A forest becomes livelier when you add bushes, flowers, or other things. As long as you add very generic items, the picture usually gets better. Think twice though about adding too special items. That might be too demanding for the AI artist. She might not be familiar enough with it. Here are some examples. Scenery, forest, autumn, bushes, flowers. That worked well at only 22 iterations, seed 1. With more iterations, you could probably make the picture more awesome. But let us now add too much stuff. Scenery, forest, autumn, bushes, flowers, mushroom, hut, fox. The hut suddenly merges with the mushroom, very creative idea of NovelAI, and the fox just got ignored because it's just too much demands at once. Let us instead try the beautification tags. Scenery, forest, autumn, bushes, flowers, sunshine, light rays. And, wow, what a nice effect. I think that picture looks already impressive. Now you could imagine your characters walking through the forest. They'll be overwhelmed by the beauty surrounding them. They might fall in love with each other and living happily ever after. Well, okay, I got a bit distracted. But in any case, you see how it works. 3. You have more specific demands? You want a house to look in a particular way? You want the lake to be on the right side of the image? You want to look down onto a forest? All these kind of demands are tricky and you will be in for a ride. What are the methods with which you can enforce such wishes? First, you can try with undocumented tags or descriptions. That surprisingly often works. Here is an example. Scenery, forest, autumn, view from top, aerial view. Looks like the AI got what you meant on the first try. You won't always be so lucky though, that's why there are other methods. Second method. If your picture consists of more than one element, then mix and mesh. AI is pretty good in drawing an animal. And it's good in landscapes. Both together meh. But you can just copy-paste, fiddle around with size and shades, add some leaves in front of the animal, etc. And at the end get a good picture. Some items you will even draw by yourself or copy from photos. Take this example from my game, Sweet Science. I handmade the poster using a picture from the AI and icons from Keynote. The background art is all NovelAI. I added manually some leaf shadows on top of the poster in Procreate. Nice, isn't it? This example also shows creativity is still needed when using an AI. Third method. Use a different AI. DALL-E 2 is much better than NovelAI in understanding complicated or creative tasks. It just sucks at anime style. Sometimes, however, you can mesh pictures from both sources together like I did in the classroom picture above, where parts were drawn by Dolly 2, parts by NovelAI, parts by myself, the writing on the blackboard, and parts copied in from Wikipedia, the map of UK, credits in the game. By the way, it's supposed to look a bit gloomy, so don't worry if you wouldn't like to be in this classroom. Fourth method. Just produce a lot of pictures until one is fitting. Indeed, that is most often the method of choice. It sounds sad, but often there is no way to communicate your ideas to the AI, and then that's one way to go. If after many attempts you still can't get anywhere close to your wishes, then there is one last hope. Fifth method, and last straw. Upload a picture and ask the AI to draw something based on the picture. This function is hit and miss. You need to describe what is on the picture, and it better be something that the AI knows about. If that's the case, you still have to find the right strength parameter. If it's too low, you might get a horrible version of the original pic. If it's too high, the AI might draw something that does not resemble the original anymore. Try levels from 0, 3 to 0, For the noise parameter, I use values around 0, 2. The method is also a rather cost-intensive way to make pictures, but sometimes it's the only thing that works. I used it in this picture, where I wanted to have a view on Silversea Castle from the hilltop with the lake in the background. I had taken the original photo by myself, and it was indeed a photo of a castle that is a boarding school on a big lake, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. Oh, sorry, I forgot one last method. Simply lower your standards. The castle doesn't look the same on the second background picture. The classroom is too small, the trees too tall, the mountain too high. Who cares? If it's not too obvious, most players won't notice, and the others will forgive you if the rest of the game is good. Trust the players to fill in gaps with their own fantasy. There are tons of games where artists created graphics for games and produced glaring inconsistencies, and still people like the game. Here is an example from Everlasting Summer, one of the most played visual novels from outside Japan. What's wrong about this picture? Well, nothing by itself, but here is another picture in the game. It's of the exact same lab. You can see that it gives a totally different vibe. Here it looks as it should, since the game is set in the 1980s USSR and the technology at the time is nicely reflected here. Really, a wonderful piece of background art. The first one, however, does not fit at all, as it looks totally futuristic. Okay, now you say, hey, you just didn't see the joke here. It was meant to be funny. Okay, if that's the case, then you don't have to worry about any inconsistencies produced by an AI. Just say they were meant to be funny. 4. The AI is not an architect. Proof. Look carefully on the picture of the castle that we had seen before. The walls really aren't straight. Okay, but that is not the main problem. What's worse? The AI cannot draw the same building consistently from different angles. It struggles severely with geometry. Complicated objects like chairs and tables are often a mess. It cannot produce technically correct paintings of computers, etc. If you ever need something like that, you will have to do a lot of manual work. Or you can use the methods described in the last section. That was the reason why I used Dolly 2 for helping with the classroom picture. Although even Dolly 2 is struggling there a bit. Sometimes it helps to upload a template, which I did in some of these cases as well. Sometimes nothing helps. When I tried to get a picture of an old cell phone with an antenna, the AI gave me this hilarious result. After I gave her some template. In this case, there's only one chance. Draw by yourself, use a photo, or hire an artist. Then I got this here. 5. Final tips. Add your personal touch by adding stuff. Stuff produced by the AI separately, stuff that you copy and paste, stuff that you draw or write. That can be a picture on the wall made by Dolly 2 or yourself. Some light rays, a toy pasted in from another picture. It can be NPCs that you produce separately with NovelAI and copy in. It can be a variation of the background at night where you adjusted the colors manually and also take out some of the light reflections and replace them with lamp lights. Your creativity can make all the difference. Here's an example from Sweet Science, where I've added a poster AI generated, a folder and a pen hand-drawn, and 2 AI generated plushies. Nice, isn't it? And don't forget about the main recipe for great background art. Choose your motif wisely with enough liberty for the AI artist. Choose your tags well. Be specific but not too demanding. Use the methods I have explained to settle specific demands. If need be, simply reduce your demands. Relax, it's just a game. Next time I will talk about how to design characters for a game, why that's particularly difficult, and how you can still manage to get it done. See you soon!